I discovered that he had put images up on a porn site of me.
So did the cops help you?
No, they didn't.
Law enforcement doesn't take crimes that occur online as seriously as they should.
My apartment door was kicked in.
They threatened to murder our children. They threatened to murder our pets. They stalked us.
I'm Ahmed Shahabuddin, and this is a story about three women with all too common stories of targeted online harassment. I spoke with a domestic violence survivor attacked with revenge porn, a former banker who was stalked online, and a game developer relentlessly harassed during what became known as Gamergate.
If you've ever heard the term Gamergate, you've also likely heard of Brianna Wu.
I went to see Brianna present her case to a caucus meeting in Cohasset, Massachusetts. Why is this such a serious issue?
Because the internet in 2018 is our public sphere. This is our coffee shop. This is our town hall.
She spoke about the male-dominated gaming industry and got responses like this. I hope you enjoy your last moments alive on this earth. You did nothing worthwhile with your life.
Even a video of a man with a skull mask holding a knife up to the camera and saying, Brianna Wu, this is gonna be the last thing you ever feel tonight, me stabbing this through you.
In 2017, 41% of Americans reported facing online harassment during their lifetime, an increase from 35% in 2014. Of those, nearly 1 in 5 experienced serious targeted harassment like stalking or physical threats. Young women are especially likely to experience sexualized abuse. 1/5 of women between ages 18 and 29 report online sexual harassment.
It would have been so much easier for me to just sit down, to be quiet, to keep my mouth shut, to do nothing, and just wait for them to go attack some other woman.
I was looking at a lot of research, reading about your case, and there's a lot of information that is purposely intending to mislead people.
People love to click on dirt, whether it's true or not.
Right.
And right now, Google's algorithm deliberately rewards that behavior.
I wanted to understand why technology platforms struggle to build safer spaces, and why law enforcement sometimes fails to take internet harassment seriously.
I'm Liz Lee. I'm the founder and executive director of Online SOS. So Online SOS is a nonprofit. I started it to help targets of online harassment.
And why did you start it?
Well, the issue is pretty personal to me. I was just a girl out of college. I just graduated, moved back to New York City, starting my first job in finance, excited to be in the real world and getting these strange emails. I got an email that had kind of an implicit threat in it, where like, if you don't show up on this day, I will do X, Y, and Z. But I didn't know what to do about it. Do I tell my employer? Do I tell my parents? And it's one-on-one, so it doesn't matter if anyone knows about it. It's just meant for the target to be afraid.
So you said you were stalked.
My apartment door was kicked in, yes. I was getting a ton of phone calls. At this point, I knew who it was. And it was an ex-partner, and they were stalking me, and I couldn't do anything to stop the phone calls.
Nonprofits like Online SOS are often targeted simply for being outspoken. An organization called Crash Override that started in the wake of Gamergate disconnected their hotline because of an overwhelming need for assistance with online abuse outpacing their current resources.
I don't want people to suffer alone. I think suffering alone and in silence is the worst outcome.
The benefits of an open internet and the connectivity of platforms have a downside, allowing people to harass others anonymously and easily.
My name's Adam Dodge. I'm the legal director at Laura's House, which is a domestic violence agency serving all of Orange County.
The internet has also become the weapon of choice for exerting power and control in domestic relationships.
We don't typically see a case come in for a restraining order that doesn't have some type of virtual or online harassment component to it.
It's a public health crisis hiding in plain sight. Domestic violence hotlines in America get 20,000 calls per day. 1 in 3 women has been a victim of violence by a partner during their lifetime.
We do over 1,000 restraining order cases every year. And A lot of those cases don't involve physical violence. They involve harassment, online shaming, virtual abuse.
Next, I wanted to hear from a woman who was targeted by her ex-husband with so-called revenge porn.
I discovered that he had put images up on a porn site of me. These were images that he took of me. Sorry.
1 in 25 Americans have experienced non-consensual explicit image sharing or been threatened with it. That number rises to 1 in 10 for women who are under 30. What would you say to young people, to teenagers who share these kinds of photos?
I would just say, don't do it. We had children, we went to church. We did all the things that made us look like the perfect family. I mean, we looked like the perfect family to everybody. It was when I got out of the shower and he took them.
How did you feel when you saw them on the site?
I felt completely violated and betrayed.
So did the cops help you?
No, they didn't. They actually, one of the police officers told me he wasn't sure if it was a crime because I was his wife. And then it just doesn't go anywhere. A sheriff investigator filed it criminally with the DA, and then they rejected it.
Most states now have laws banning non-consensual pornography, but a national law has been stymied, in some cases even by free speech advocates like the American Civil Liberties Union.
It's really important that we craft the law appropriately to make sure that we're not sweeping in protected speech.
So why is intent so critical?
So without a strong intent requirement, it could be a crime, for example, to share an image of the famous napalm girl, the Vietnam War protest photo.
The burden of proof often lands on survivors. Both law enforcement and platforms ask for documentation of images.
It's a very humiliating thing. It's not something you wanted someone to know.
I asked her about trying to use the legal system to get images taken down.
It wasn't easy to do, but I got the courage to go to court. I had to show the images.
Facebook also asks survivors to submit images that can be flagged.
My name is Karuna Nain. I manage global safety policy programs at Facebook. We do rely very heavily on the community to flag content that violates our community standards. We have some tools that run that catch content like nudity, like the photo DNA tool that I talked about for catching child sexual abuse images, but we do rely on the community to report content as well.
Just in the first quarter of this year, Facebook reported deleting more than 21 million pieces of adult nudity.
When you're building a social network and you're excited about connecting people, it's much harder to think about, people are going to find their stalkers are going to find them online and they're going to harass them there.
Rahul focuses on algorithms and the design of platforms.
It's important to note that the business models have dictated how those algorithms behave, not any technology limitation. Algorithms should be talked about like mirrors. These mirrors reflect our society.
3/4 of women who have been harassed online changed the way they used platforms like Twitter and Facebook. And 32% of women stopped expressing their opinion online on certain issues.
In order to do this work, I have to be more public. And if that leads to harassment, at this point, I'm okay with it.
Numerous talented, outspoken women refused to do interviews for this story for fear of being harassed.
I know a lot of women that, when I'll say, hey, do you want to talk to this particular media outlet about feminism? They'll say, no, it's just too risky. I don't want to be targeted. So we have a system right now that really rewards women for being silent.
Hey guys, it's Ahmed. That was episode 2 in our 5-part series about the dark side of technology. Be sure to watch the rest of the episodes right here, and don't forget to subscribe to AJ Plus.